Agile Principles. Let us look into the 12 principles based on the Agile Manifesto. To truly understand these principles, we will capture the intent of each principle and write it as a slogan of not more than 3 words, and then look into an example of how it can be applied in real life. The first principle states that our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. A possible slogan might be early value delivery. If you can find a way to deliver the product, even if it is not complete, early, and then throughout the life cycle deliver incrementally better products, it is a big step in the direction of agility. For example, an app for managing reservations for COVID vaccination may deliver the registration for hospitals and patients in the first deliverable. This can be done in a matter of days and weeks. Incrementally, it may add capabilities to schedule appointments, cancel appointments, etc. The second principle states that, welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. A possible slogan can be change for good. Changes are inevitable in any project and in life. Changes happen because the business is dynamic, technology keeps on evolving, and we need to be adaptable to changes. For example, in our vaccination app, we may discover that a group of patients, let's consider a home for the elderly, may want to book appointments in bulk for all their residents. We must make a utility for them to do this quickly. The third principle states that deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to the shorter time scale. A possible slogan can be weeks, not months. This principle gives a more refined timescale for delivery. Typical Agile projects will have iteration time boxes of 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes even shorter. Let us now look into the next 3 principles of Agile. The fourth principle states that business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. A possible slogan can be partner with business. The active involvement of the business in the delivery of the product is a very big deal, especially so in Agile projects. Agile teams must insist that the business is part of the team and work with them on a daily basis. Imagine if the team wants inputs from the business about something. If you have to wait for a week to get the inputs, they will simply not be able to meet their commitment to deliver that iteration. For example, if we need to ask the business how many people are expected to log into the app at a time, we need this input quickly to be able to put the technical infrastructure in place. And business needs to observe the trends on this and give us heads up so that we can keep up with the expected load. The fifth principle states that, build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. A possible slogan can be motivation and trust. It is no secret that motivated teams can work magic. This is true of any team, not just an Agile team. Because an Agile team works on a short time window, the lack of motivation even for a few hours might cost you dearly. Therefore, the energy level in the team needs to be very high. For example, our vaccination app is accessed by the customers 24/7. If there is an issue at odd hours, who is going to come in and fix it? Unless the motivation of the team is high, it is not going to happen. The sixth principle states that the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. A possible slogan can be direct, open communication. Regardless of all the technological advances, the fastest way to get information across is face-to-face conversation. This is true even in day-to-day life, not just in Agile projects. Therefore, Agile teams must find a way to enable direct conversation to the possible extent, that is, within restrictions of distributed teams, time zone challenges, etc. For example, in our team for the vaccination app, we would try to establish a war room where team members can talk to each other and the business file they are working so that there is no time lag in the exchange of information. We are now halfway through understanding the Agile principles. Let us now move on to the next 3 principles. The 7th principle states that working software is the primary measure of progress. A possible slogan can be show and tell. There are different milestones on projects. Some culminate with a decision or a process or a document. The most meaningful milestone is where you have a product to show. Therefore, a working product is definitely a much more reliable indicator that the team is indeed making progress. For example, in our vaccination app project, we would try to end each iteration time box with an improved product. The product will be showcased, and if it is approved by our stakeholders, we would deploy it to production as quickly as possible. Since they can see it in action, it reassures all the stakeholders that things are moving in the right direction. The 8th principle states that Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. A possible slogan can be keep it steady. Agile is often mistaken to mean fast. The goal is to establish a steady rhythm, a pace of working that the team can keep up with for a long period of time. It is like running a marathon, not a sprint. Agile teams must establish a pace that doesn't cause them to burn out or be tempted to compromise quality. For example, in our vaccination app project, even though there are deadlines to reach and pressure to deliver, we shall only accept as much work in an iteration as is possible to achieve without sacrificing sustainable pace. Going too fast will only hurt us in the long run. The 9th principle states that continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. A possible slogan can be never compromise quality. When we build a product, it must be built properly. The right design thinking and technical architecture are essential. Teams often make the mistake of not paying enough attention to these aspects in the rush to complete products. In every iteration, Agile teams must allow time to think through the design and architecture of the product so that it will continue to deliver good performance. For example, in our vaccination app project, we may establish a practice to perform design brainstorming at the beginning of each iteration to think through these aspects frequently. Similarly, we may set up a testing environment that assures that the quality of the product is never compromised. Let us now look into the last 3 principles of Agile. The 10th principle states that simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. A possible slogan can be keep it simple. Simplicity has many advantages, but it is not always easy to see the simplicity in the work that we do. If we are able to find a simpler solution to a problem, we can avoid a lot of unnecessary trouble. We will also get the time to get the work done. It may also enable us to get a stopgap solution early before a full solution can be rolled out. For example, for our vaccination app, some users who live in remote areas not connected to a network will need an offline feature where they can register and book offline, which can be synced to the main system later. This may be a complex feature to deliver, given that date and appointment availability change dynamically. A simpler feature might be to set up a helpline for such locations, so that they can simply call a help desk who will help them register and book remotely even without a network. It is a simpler and cleaner solution. The 11th principle states that the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. A possible slogan can be empower the team. Teams are often put into cocoons where they have to get approvals for everything that they do, including technical architecture, design choices. Usually the teams are very capable of making these decisions on their own because they live and breathe the product day in and day out. It is better to let them run with the product. We can institutionalize this on our vaccination app project by giving the team a high degree of autonomy to make decisions. The 12th principle states that, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective and then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. A possible slogan can be continuous improvement. One of the important aspects of an Agile project is continuous improvement. It means frequently taking the time to step back, think about how things are going within the development process, and make necessary improvements. For example, on our vaccination app project, we should set up retrospective or closure meetings at the end of every iteration to take stock of our process and make any improvements that we need to make. This empowers the team and keeps the process as lean and efficient as possible. So those are the 12 Agile principles. These principles and the manifesto represent the basics of Agile that we need to keep in mind as we proceed to learn more about the techniques and other details.